Hello everyone, this is Game Collector, and wow, I don't have anything up for display. Well, that's unusual, or rather it would be unusual if I didn't have something planned for today, because I just found the most amazing action figure superhero toy ever. You want to see it? Of course you want to see it. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't want to see it in the first place. And it's Torso Man. He's a super evolved super being from the distant future where people no longer need arms, legs, heads, or limbs or anything like that. Because they're super evolved super beings. See, this is Torso Man. Well, he's a superhero, and considering that he has no limbs, he has to fight people with super psychic powers and his sidekick, Legfoot. Because, they evolved without limbs, and limbs are inferior beings, but Legfoot is a mutant. But, Torso Man took pity upon him and took him in and made him his crime-fighting partner for fighting crime. And so sadly I don't have him, but they do battle against the Arm of Evil, who's also a mutant, but, considering he was never treated nice by anyone, ever! He turned to crime and also has super powerful psychic powers that I can't show you on camera because I don't have him. But these figures both have articulation, Legfoot being a leg and a foot, has articulation in his leg and foot. Like so. And Torso Man has his little psychic power nub thing. And the ab crunch of justice. When his psychic powers aren't enough, he has to ab-crunch his enemies into submission. Also, it's how he got all of his muscles and stuff. Now, again, and again, and that is the greatest superhero team ever. And if you managed to stick around this long, congratulations and April Fools. But considering I'm not always that type of jerk, I'll just move these things to the side here. And raise up my camera, because I got something special around for people who are tolerant enough to sit through that 2.5 minutes of drivel. Or 3 minutes of drivel, really. Done. 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 Yep. Just in case you're wondering, I'm going to do the original MMPR Megazord. Pardon me. This is the 2010 remake. Because I never got the original, and because of that, there is no Dragon Zord to make this toy absolutely perfect. Damn it, Bandai, why didn't you make a Dragon Zord? Okay, that complaint out of the way. This pretty much has the articulation of any Megazord. And that would be arms go up and down and 360 degrees all around. And that's it. That's the only articulation this toy has. But considering this is a Megazord, and as such it should be able to do something else. Say, split into 5 Zords? Yeah. But first, a little side note. Because this was part of the 2010 line, it had these interchangeable joint pieces, which you could pull off, featured here and here. Now, the thing was, you could reattach limbs that were motorcycles. trying to put the motorcycle gimmick onto the Megazord. How? Okay, I don't know if I should say anything or not, because I know little kids would love it. Mix and match parts, but the Megazord is a giant robot with little tiny people sitting inside of its eyes. How would a motorcycle the size of these little tiny people inside of its eyes be a good limb? I'm just saying, you know, how does that work? Guess I'm just overanalyzing things again, but there is a nice thing. I unfortunately can't demonstrate it to you. With the American version of any of the Samurai Megazords, you can swap their limbs around and, you know, give this Megazord the Samurai Ranger parts and the other Megazord the classic Megazord parts. Same thing with the Clawzord and probably the Bull Megazord too. And yeah, it has a frickin' Thunder Sword! Yeah! Frickin' awesome! But you know, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to switch these arms around because, you know, you really want to see a giant hollow leg when you have guns mounted on it. So, temporarily swap the arms. And yeah, it has the Mastodon Mammoth shield thing. Gonna move that off to the side too. And that goes right there. And then raise it up. And then you take these little gun things that normally have absolutely no purpose whatsoever as other than to be put on the backpack. And you attach them up front here. And you fold this back. And you pull this off. Yeah, this is the pterodactyl or pterosaur. And the original toy looked just, well, not exactly like this, but reasonably like this, but it had pink on it. This thing is just a giant blob of gray and red with a white head. This does not look pink at all. I feel somewhat insulted. Somewhat insulted. The fact that the pterodactyl really had barely any pink on it in the first place, you know. Urgh. And that clips back there. And you can probably tell where I'm going with this if, you know, you've seen Power Rangers before or ever were a fan of the original series. Rawr, 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 rawr. And then you close this up. And instead you attach this. Right in that hole. Right there. Bloop. And then you take this leg up. And put it on down. And then you do the exact same thing on the other side. And then I can lower the camera down and you can see what I was doing. Yes, Megazord, tank mode. And no, because they decided to go cheap, it has absolutely no wheels or have the ability to roll at all. You can, however, raise the little knee-mounted guns like mortars or something. I don't know. You can do it. You don't need to. And yes, all of these decals were applied by me, save for the two on the shoulder and the ears on the mammoth and the eyes and stuff. Some of the decals were pre-applied, some of them weren't. The ones inside the legs, I had to apply myself, and I gotta say right now, that was not easy. But yeah, the giant tank mode from Megazord sequence has been initiated and so on. But now that we're done with that, I can, you know, take this part off and move these into their proper positions. So you can see giant hollowed out mastodon legs. And then unclip them because these little gun things actually do something important. And they are, in truth, the feet of the pterodactyl. And yes, on the original toy, they did this. They had this exact same function. And there, you know, because not even the show showed them pterodactyl with feet, so people were like, what do they do? Well, they do that. Happy now? And now that we're done with that part, you can... I'm going to lower the camera back down so you can get a slightly blurrier image. It's been a while since I did this, mind you, so it's been stuck in Megazord mode for the longest amount of time. And now you rotate these back, and this down, this in, so it should look like this. And then you just fold it in like that. And then you do the same thing over on this side, and fold it out and in, fold it down, and there, it's a giant clump. It's a brick. But, you know, it's a Power Rangers toy. It's a Megazord. You're expecting it to not be a brick? And there, the Mastodon Zord. And the Triceratops Zord. Yeah, that's it. You just pull it off and extend the tail. There's nothing to it at all. So you got 3 out of 5. Let's make it 4. Saber-toothed tiger, you fold the legs down. Fold the teeth down. Fold the other legs down. And tail out. And there you go. Saber-toothed tiger. And of course, I may have to raise the camera, pull it back. I think raising the camera might be a good idea. And there, all 5 of them all together, and it comes with 1 piece of kibble, and that would be the awesome sword. And I have no idea where to put it, and it doesn't tell me anywhere in the instructions. I don't like that. And now to its box. Yeah, I kept the box for this thing. I got this thing for Christmas in, like, I think 2011 or something. 09 or late 09, 2010 or something. I really don't remember. I just remember I got this and I was kind of thrilled. Because I never had this toy when I was growing up. Now I'll have to move them off to the side so you can actually see the box. And all of its advertising goodness. Or evilness, if you're not into that kind of thing. Yeah, right down there, that's that motorcycle gimmick thing that I was telling you about. I didn't really like that, but apparently little kids love it. They love it to death. But again, personally, I don't care much for it. And there's a picture of the Megazord and the parts and stuff. Pictures of the Rangers on the side. Collect them all with the Power Rangers. Let me try to make this less blurry. Or more blurry. Yeah, that squeaking sound is the sound of my fingers rubbing up against the camera and adjusting it. And there's the hollow empty box that's been opened. And down here on the front is some clip art or something of old TV show footage. Eee! And so I'm kind of glad that you managed to sit through, and if you actually did manage to sit through and tolerate that, you got something of a special treat out of all of this. And I will see you again next week with a real video and a continuation of what was posted prior to this. I hope you have a great April Fool's, and hope you don't do anything too serious or get anyone killed, or get put in prison, or do something incredibly stupid. So, on that very awkward note, later.